Hey guys, it's me. Um, so today I wanted to talk a little bit about identity and what that means to me and what that means to other people. That covers a couple of different topics. Um, there is my sexuality. I do identify as a lesbian, and a lot of people don't really understand if I'm into girls, then why become a girl? The other thing about identity is how does it affect me in my everyday life? How does it affect me in my relationship? How does it affect all these different things? So first, like I said, I am a lesbian, and I have been dating my girlfriend Morgan for about 9 months now. One of the questions I always get when people find out that I'm trans and they already know that I'm dating a girl is, well, if you're dating girls and if you're into girls, then why become a girl? Why not just stay a guy? And the best way for me to describe this is that gender is a completely different entity than sexuality. I've tried the man thing. I tried dating a guy when I was a guy because I thought that, I wanted to be a girl. I wanted to dress like a girl. I wanted to feel like a girl. Maybe that meant I was gay. Ends up meaning that I was gay, just a lot different than I thought. So I also tried dating a guy after my last relationship ended. I had been thinking about it, and I hadn't really given it a chance as a girl, and I tried it, and I was not a fan. Can't get past the 5 o'clock shadow, and I'm just really not that attracted to very many guys. I could see myself possibly one day, if the right guy came along, dating a guy, but the chances of that happening are really slim. It hasn't happened yet, and I can't see it happening. So, why does that mean I want to be a girl if I want to date girls? Well, because I am a girl. And that's really the only way to describe it, is that it was driving me crazy, the role that I had to take in the relationships. Before I transitioned, I had not had a relationship last really longer than 3 or 4 months, and that was because I was extremely uncomfortable. I'd meet somebody, and they were great, and I really got along with them, and we'd start a relationship, and all of a sudden, I just couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't force myself to be the man. I couldn't force myself to, be the one that always initiates everything, the one that's always on top. It's just there's the stereotype for this is what the man does and this is what the woman does. And I couldn't do that anymore. I just couldn't do it. I can't even tell you, if you haven't experienced it, how wonderful it is to be treated like the gender that you really are when you haven't been treated like that ever. So that's the best way that I can come to describing it, but really, if you haven't experienced it, I don't know if it's something that you can understand fully. The other thing is, how does my identity as a woman affect my everyday life? How does it affect my relationships and things like that? This is a question that was presented to me by somebody here on YouTube, and I talked with my girlfriend about that and how that affects her, and her response to that was that to her, I'm not trans. To her, I'm not a boy, and I never was a boy. She knows that I was a boy, and she knows that I am transgendered, and obviously, but she doesn't identify me as that. When she sees me, she sees a woman, and that's kind of what this is all about. Is when people see me, I want them to see a woman, and when I see me, when I look in the mirror, I want to see a woman, and it's definitely gotten to the point where there are more days that I see a woman looking back at me in the mirror than days that I see Chris looking back at me in the mirror. As it affects me in everyday life, at work, at play, when I go out, everywhere. Being treated like a woman and living life as a woman is a complete 180 to what being a boy is. I mean, that's really a stupid way of putting it, I suppose, but all of a sudden people open doors for you. I would describe myself as a feminist, and I'm not a huge fan of that, but it's still nice to know that people see me like that, and that my identity that I feel is expressing itself in a way that other people can pick up on that, and that's really special to me. Anyway, I definitely invite anybody who has any questions for me, or anything that they would like to hear me talk about, please post a comment or send me a message or something. I'm definitely looking for more things to talk about, and I mean, I could talk forever, but I want to know what other people want to know. I want to know what you guys want to know. So, anyway, I hope this kind of shows you my views on identity and how I feel about that and how that affects me in my relationship and in my everyday life. And anyway, stick around, and I'll hopefully see you guys soon.